everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. We're gonna have so much fun. It's 2024, guys. Oh my gosh, happy new year to everybody. I hope the year is feeling great. There's great vibes, great energy, great money involved. Okay, we're gonna jump into the tutorial. We're gonna be making a super cute winter hat. I don't really know what to call it, honestly. I've been calling it a helmet hat because it's super cute, but it also kind of looks like a helmet. Yeah, but it's gonna be cute nonetheless. Okay, so what you're gonna need is scissors. These are my favorite scissors. They're so sharp and they're pink, which is always great. I have yarn here. We're going to be using fur yarn, and we're also going to be using regular yarn, but the fur yarn that I'm using was $6. This is Yarn Bee in the color cream, and it is, what is the size here? Oh, it's a 6, if you can see it there. It is a 6, super bulky, but it's actually not that bulky, honestly. Yeah, so we're going to be using that. You're only going to need like one of these for this hat. And we're going to be using, I'm going to be using regular black yarn, but you can use whatever color you want. Okay. And lastly, crochet hook I'm going to be using is the size 4.25 millimeters. This is my favorite hook. Okay. Yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to be starting with, I'm going to be making an adult sized hat. So we're going to be starting with a slip knot by putting the end of the yarn in the palm of our hand, wrapping it around 2 fingers, putting the hook through that little loop and pulling that extra yarn through. Now we're going to be closing that yarn hole tightly, and then we're going to be pulling this loop tightly. I don't want to hear nobody in the comments saying I'm moving too fast, because I'm not, okay? Y'all need to get this, okay? I'm doing it right in front of the video, like, and I'm teaching y'all, I'm talking to y'all as I'm doing it, okay? There should be no way that you cannot get this tutorial, okay? And I also have the pattern on my website as well. Oh, and I also have the actual hat on my website as well if you don't want to make it. So we're going to be starting with 5 stitches by yarning over and pulling through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stitches. It should look like a little braid. And now we're going to slip stitch into that very first stitch that we made. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. So we're going to slip stitch into that very first stitch by going through, yarning over, pulling through, and we're going to pull through that last stitch. So now you should have kind of like a little magic loop. If you kind of open it up, you will. And we're going to stitch 2 by yarning over, pulling through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. That was our extra stitch 2. Now we're going to do 12 double crochets inside of this little magic loop in the center. So we're going to yarn over, go through the magic loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1 double crochet. Now we're going to do 11 more. Yarn over, go through the magic loop, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 2. We have 10 more to go. Going through, yarn over, come through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now that we have 12 double crochets, you should have a little circle that looks like this. And we are going to slip stitch it into the very first double crochet that we made. So if you look here, you can see this is where we stitched our extra 2 in the very beginning, and this is actually where the first double crochet is. So we're just going to insert right at the top of that braid, making sure both little loops are on the hook there. And you're going to yarn over and pull through everything. So boom, you have your slip stitch, and that is row 1. So now we're going to stitch 2. We're working on the second row, and we are going to stitch 2 in every stitch. And we're not going to go into the stitch that's connected to the extra 2. We're going to go into the next one, which is here. So skipping this one, yarning over and doing 2 double crochets in every single stitch. 1, 2, y'all, I ordered some press-ons from Amazon. I also ordered some off of TikTok shop, but the ones off of TikTok shop are gonna take like 2 weeks. So I did end up ordering some off of Amazon like a few minutes later, and they're supposed to be coming today around 5 to 10 p.m. And honestly, I do have Amazon Prime. I do pay for Amazon Prime delivery. Why is my package coming the latest 10 p.m.? Like, really? Like, I will probably be asleep by then or something. Like, I won't even be home, actually. I will not even be home at that time. Amazon, come on now. I really hope my package gets here soon so I could just slap my freaking press-ons on, and I hope that they last. Okay, so I am in the last stitch here, and I'm just doing the very last double crochet for this row. And now that that is complete, I'm coming back up to the 2 extra stitches that we stitched right before the very first double crochet. So I'm gonna skip those 1, 2, and I'm going to slip stitch right at the top of that first double crochet. And now we're moving on to row 3. So row 3 is kind of the same still, stitching 2. We're going to be stitching 2 at the beginning of every row, by the way. And still skipping that very first stitch that's connected. We're never going to go into that stitch. We are going to be doing 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet pattern all the way around for this third row. So first stitch, we're going to be doing 1 double crochet, second stitch, 2 double crochet. And these are called the increases of the hat, just so that we're making sure it actually reaches the adult size of our head. And if you do miss your place and where you are, if you look closely, you can see 2 double crochets in this stitch, 1 here, 2 in this one. Okay, so I'm just finishing the very last stitch of the 3rd row, and now we have a little circle, and I'm again gonna slip stitch into the very first double crochet, skipping those stitch 2s at the bottom. Now I'm gonna stitch 2, and for the 4th row we're still increasing, so we're gonna do 1 1 2 1 1 2 pattern all the way around, skipping this very first stitch that's attached and going in with 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochet. One, 1 2. Okay, so now I'm about to be on my last stitch, and I have 2 here, 1 here, so the last stitch is going to be just 1 double crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch. We are on the 5th row, stitching our 2. We're going to do our last row of increases, and we're going to be skipping that first stitch again and doing 1 stitch, 1 stitch, 1 stitch, and then 2 double crochets. I'm sorry, yeah, I didn't mean to say stitches, I meant to say double crochets. But you're doing 1 double crochet in that stitch. So we have 1 2 3 and then 2 stitches in the 4th stitch. That's the pattern for this one, for this row. So 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet in this stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochet in the same stitch. I'm going to do this pattern all the way around until you're done with this row. Okay, so now I'm almost finished with the 5th row here, and this is what we have so far. This should really be just the top of your head as an adult. And if it's not the top of your head, maybe go see a doctor immediately. I'm gonna do a double crochet here, 2 double crochets here, and then in the last stitch I'm just gonna do 1 double crochet. And now I'm going to slip stitch into the top row. And now that we're not doing any more increases, we're gonna stitch 2 like normal, and starting from this row, row 6 to row 10, we're just going to do one double crochet in each stitch for these last 4 rows, yarning over and just doing 1 double crochet in each stitch, because now we're going to be working on the length of the hat instead of just trying to make it as wide as we need it. I didn't even realize that I have my phone, like my phone's tripod, like super close to my eye. Like, I literally didn't even realize it. Also, let me know what you guys, what other tutorials you guys want me to do in the comments, or yeah, any tips or tricks you guys want to know about crocheting. I'm also going to do another video on this hat. I'm going to do a video on the fully covered fur hat that I posted, so stay tuned for that tutorial as well. Hopefully I can do it this week. I should be able to do it tomorrow, actually, after I finish this one. But yes, we're gonna do 1 double crochet for rows 6 through 10, 1 double crochet in each stitch, remembering to stitch 2 at the beginning of each row and not inserting into that very first stitch after your 2 stitches at the beginning. And I will come back to you guys once I am almost finished with the 10th row. Okay, so I'm only on row 8, but you can see the shape of the hat is starting to form. And once we're done, it's going to be the perfect size. Okay, so I'm finishing the 10th row. I have 2 stitches left. And now I'm going to slip stitch at the very top. And now we're going to be working on the earpieces. So we have our beanie, purr, and now we're going to stitch 2, and we're only going to do 10 double crochets. So for this part, we can go into the very first stitch that is connected to the stitch 2, and we're going to do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet in the next, that's 2, and the next will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 double crochets, and that is where we're gonna stop. And now we're gonna stitch 2, and we're gonna turn our work over. And now we're gonna work on this side, and we're gonna go right back down that row, and we're gonna do this for 7 rows total. So going into that very first stitch with the double crochet and going back down. Okay, we have 10. Now we're gonna stitch 2 and turn our work back over. And now we're gonna work back this way again. And we're gonna do this for 7 rows in total, stitching 2, turning our work over, double crocheting down, stitching 2, turning our work back over. Okay, so I am finished with my 7th row here, and now I'm gonna cut my yarn, and I'm going to yarn over and pull that string through and pull it tightly. So now we have one ear flap covered, and I'm just gonna attach my yarn to the other side. The way I do this is I just try to kind of make it even. There's really no exact way to do this part, so don't panic. I just try to even it out. Just gonna go here. Crocheting doesn't have to be an exact science, guys, okay? Just wing it sometimes, it's okay. So I have the edge of the yarn in my hand, and I'm gonna pull it through that loop, and I'm just gonna make a simple knot and tie it twice so it's stable. And now we're gonna do the same thing to this side for the flap, stitching 2, going to that same stitch and doing 1 double crochet, and then going down the line and doing 10 double crochet total. Okay, so I'm finishing up my last stitch for the last row, and this is how she looks so far. We have our 2 ear flaps. I told y'all this thing be looking like a helmet. Okay, so now we are going to stitch 1, and we're just gonna single crochet around the entire perimeter of the entire thing, just so that it's easier for us to go in with the fur yarn. Here I'm just trying to make perfect stitches so it is easier for me to attach that fur yarn. And here, as you can see, there is really no clear stitch for you to insert the fur yarn, but here where I've inserted the single crochets already, you can kind of see there is an easier way to insert the other yarn. So that's just why I like to go in with the single crochet all around. You really don't have to if you don't want to, but it does help for me personally. I'm sorry, and to do the single crochet, all you're doing is just going into the loop, yarning over, pulling through. You have 2 loops on your hook, and you're just yarning over and pulling through both loops. And I'm just gonna do this for the entire perimeter, and I'll come back to you guys once I'm ready to add the fur. Try not to do these single crochets too close together. You just want a safe distance for them to be apart, and you don't obviously want to do them too far apart either, if you are going to go ahead and do this step. Okay, so I'm just finishing up the last few stitches for the single crochet around the perimeter, And once I've reached the very first single crochet that I made, I'm going to cut my from just slip knotting it and closing off the stitch. And now we have a super cute little helmet hat that is super clean as well. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add the fur. Also, y'all, I ordered some press-ons, right? I ordered some press-ons because every time I go get my nails done, I go get my nails done from the Chinese people. I don't have time to be looking for a great nail artist. So I've been going to the Chinese people for like years, right? And they're going up on their prices. Okay, of course, I'm not gonna complain about that. A bitch gotta get paid. But however, I am not gonna be paying $200 for me to get my nails and my toes done. I do get acrylic on my toes, on my big toe, on my big toes actually. I only get acrylic on my big toes, and yeah, I be ending up spending a fortune in there, and my nails never last more than a week. So yeah, no, not doing that again. Don't get me wrong, my toes be lasting forever, but my nails don't last, and I don't do much with my hands at all. Like, so I don't understand. Yeah, I won't be wasting any more of my money on that. So I ordered some press-ons, and y'all, they are so cute, right? I got these off freaking Amazon, and yeah, they're cute. I love them. Like, I ordered some glue, so yeah, that's gonna come tomorrow. This hand ain't done because they all came off. I was cleaning my makeup brushes, and yeah, so go get y'all some press-ons, okay? We're not spending unnecessary wasted money 2024, okay? Yeah, anyway, back to the video. Okay, so we're adding the fur here, and I'm adding it in this little corner, sticking my hook through. I have the end of the yarn in the palm of my hand, and I'm going to pull the yarn through. Just like we added the yarn on the other side for the ear flap, I'm doing the exact same process, and I'm going to make 2 knots so it's stable. Okay, and this part is also just like how we did the perimeter for the single crochet with the regular yarn. I am just going to do 2 single crochets in every stitch, and to make it full, and yeah, that's really it around the entire perimeter. The ear flaps are a little different, but I'm going to show you guys that right now. Starting with the 2 single crochets in every stitch. So here I do like to do 3 rows of the single crochet on this little part here, and then we're going to continue going around the perimeter. But for the ear flaps, you're going to do about 3 rows in total of the fur, and by doing that, I'm just going to turn my work upside down so we can still kind of crochet from right to left. And I'm going to do 1 crochet on the side here to get me started for that second row. And this part, you really have to pay attention because you don't want any of the black fur showing under, I'm sorry, the black yarn showing under the fur. So you really have to try and make sure you are crocheting super close on each stitch, even pull the yarn down so you can really see how many stitches you need to add. This part is a little complicated, but not really. And on this part, you don't have to really do two single crochets in each one. You really just kind of want to eyeball it and make sure that you are really just covering the yarn that's underneath in every way possible. And you can see I kind of just have the hat bent like this so I can really get in there. And I'm gonna cut this off because this is freaking me out. So yeah, it doesn't really matter how many stitches you put, just make sure you are covering the yarn that's underneath, or else it's gonna look a little tacky. So that's the second row complete, and now I'm turning my work over again. Now I'm kind of still working upside down, and now we're gonna be working from right to left. And I'm gonna stitch on the side here twice to get us started with this last row. The grip that you have to have on this thing when doing this part is so complicated, but I promise y'all it's super, super easy. And I'm just pulling the fur back so I can really get in there and see what stitches haven't been covered. Also, this fur yarn is super difficult sometimes when your hook falls out of the stitch and you have to like find where your loop is in the yarn to put your stick back into it. Y'all just just bear with the yarn at this point. If you're working with yarn for quite some time, you will understand like how to work with it better, what ways really help you adjust to the yarn and how it is. But okay, so now we're done with our 3 rows, and I'm gonna go right back onto the sides and continue stitching around the perimeter. Adding 2 single crochets in each stitch kind of makes the fur on that hat become a little wavy in the pattern. You'll start to see it becoming a little curly. If you don't want your hat to have that kind of like wave in it, you only have to do like 1 stitch per, I'm sorry, 1 single crochet per stitch. But I think the waviness just adds a little bit of culture to it, you know? Why not have a wavy winter hat? So yes, this is how she looks so far. Okay, so I'm finishing the perimeter, the last couple of stitches. And I would normally cut it here and then close the stitch, and then if you have a little piece here, you can just cut it closer to where you ended it at, and then you have your curly winter hat, which is super cute. I'm not gonna cut it here because I'm gonna continue my tutorial for my other video on the full fur hat. So if you guys want to check that one out as well, it's basically just a continuation of this hat. Is continuation even a word? Continuation. It sounds like a word, but I'm gonna try it on and I'm gonna show you guys. Did I just mess it up right there? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna show you guys how it looks, but you are done. Remember that you can check out the pattern on my site, and if you don't want to make the hat yourself, you can definitely buy it from my site as well in all colors. Okay, don't mind my crazy makeup. It was a content day, okay? This is the original one that I made. I'm going on a winter trip, so I'm gonna make like a whole bunch of these in different colors. I'll be ready for the next winter. I dyed my hair, y'all. Oh my god. But yeah, this is her. She's super cute and comfortable. Yeah, go get your girlfriend one if she don't have one. She probably don't, so go get her one, okay? And I will see you guys on the next video.